All right, so this second video for section 5-6 is going to be pivoting away from finding all the sides and angles of the triangle to actually finding the area of the triangle. And it leads to something similar like what we were doing with finding the area of the hexagon. So we're going to start with the same picture that we did when we found the law of sines. And you'll notice that I have a right triangle on the left side here. And I can use that triangle to say that the sine of A is equal to the opposite of A, which is 8 over the with the hypotenuse, which is B. So if I cross multiply, that means that the height is equal to B sine of A. And so we have to remember, if I talk about the area of the entire triangle, it's going to be 1/2 length of the base times the height. So in this case, this height is perpendicular to this base. So the length of this base is C, and the height of the triangle is B sine of A. So that means I'm going to do 1/2 base of C times the height, which is B sine of A. And so if I clean that up nice and pretty, I get the area is 1/2 BC sine of A. All right, so then if I use the triangle on the right-hand side, we could say that the sine of B is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be h over a, meaning height over little a. And so then if we cross multiply, we get that the height is equal to a times the sine of b. So that means I'm still using the same height. So C is still the base of my triangle, and I get 1/2 length of the base times the height. Or if we clean that up, we get 1/2 AC sine of B. So what I want you to do next is see, is there a pattern that you notice here? And then can you use that pattern to predict a third formula? So hopefully you see that there's an ABC here and there's an ABC here with no repeats. And so if I'm looking at angle C, that's the only one left, then I would say that the area is 1/2 AB sine C. I'm sorry for my picture covering up that right there. All right. All right, so in this situation, remember, little a is opposite big A, little c is opposite big C, and little b is opposite big B. So notice in these directions, they gave us the measure of angle A, they gave us the measure of B, and they gave us the measure of C. So if we were talking two triangles possibly being congruent, do you see that this would be side angle side, two sides with an angle in between? So if I'm giving a side angle side situation, then I can use this formula. And since they said A here, we're going to say sine of A on one side. So the letters left over are B and C. And then we said that was going to be 1/2. So I'm going to write the whole word area, whereas in the book, you'll see the letter K. So if we substitute what we know, we get 1/2 of 12 times 14 times the sine of 50. And so we're going to plug that into our calculator. And so we get 1 divided by 2 times 12 times 14 times the sine of 50. And that gives us 64.3. And that would be units squared. So if we had centimeters, that would be square centimeters or square inches. It depends on what unit we're dealing with. Okay, so then if we take a look at the next question, see if you can predict what equation we would use in order to find the area of this triangle. So they gave us the measure of angle B, they gave us the length of little a, and they gave us the length of little c. So notice again, this is a side angle side situation if we were talking about it similar to showing triangles are congruent. So we've got little a is 68, little c is 110, and big B is 42.5. So we're going to say that the area is equal to, I know there's a 1/2, I know there's a sine of B because that's the angle that I know, and then the remaining letters left over are A and C. So I'm going to say 1/2 times 68 times 110 times the sine of 42.5. And so then if we plug that into our calculator, trying to get a good glare on there so you can see the numbers. So we get 1 divided by 2 times 68 times 110 times the sine of 42.5 gives me 2,526.7 units squared.